A very good morning to you. Welcome back to K24 This Morning. Today is Thursday and we're talking about relationships. This one is a special one, by the way, because we're talking about the weakening of the man. Has the man been neglected? And of course, Burale has completely differed with me on that particular point. But in case you're joining us, well, I do have Mr. CJ Atemo. We also have Robert Burale, the Duke of Buharale. And we have Mr. John Kanyoni. Karibu tena sana. Such a pleasure to have you guys. Okay. Before we get into the deeper conversation, let us see what you're saying on WhatsApp. And we have the first one here saying, Morning K24, smart conversation. Men aren't neglected. It's only how you brought up your family. We men should pay respect to our wives, either has a job or doesn't. On that way, we are not being neglected. Thanks from Bomet, keeping a teach. Thank you very much, keeping a teach. And you're saying that we're dressed well. Thank you very much. Dante is saying, I think the society has completely forgotten men. We should work on the society first. Okay. All right. Hi, Felix here. Is it bad to cry when you are down? This is Felix from Nairobi, and also goes on to say, hi, Movie. Please ask the panelists, is it manly to cry in front of ladies when you are going through a lot? Is it advisable to cry or drink yourself silly? Please, Movie. I need help. Felix, Nairobi. Okay. We have Shadrach from Eldoret on the phone lines. Shadrach, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Hello, Mbuvi.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. What is your question or comment?
You're looking good. You two, man. 4 men, sir.
Shadrach, come again?
You're looking good, eh?
Oh, thank you very much, Shadrach. Asante.
Sasa nilikuwa nauliza, nilikuwa nataka kuongea na huyo mwenye ako na macho nne huyo wa kando huko.
Burale. Ama
Morale.
Kuna Burale na kuna Kanyonyi.
Morale, the other side man.
Okay.
Huyo mwenye ako kwa kando.
Uliza tu swali amshwata.
White. Great.
Come again?
Yeah, that's what. Nilikuwa nataka anisaidia mahali.
Wapi hapo?
Sometimes I have a problem with it.
Okay.
Sometimes I want a problem. Namwonanga kwa TV, but sometimes so nilikuwa nataka kujua venye naweza meet. If can I have a contact with him.
Okay. Sawa.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Shadrach.
You are doing a good job.
Thank you very much. We shall definitely share the details of the contacts before the end of the show, so keep it tuned till the end. All right. Shadrach there wants to talk to you one-on-one, man-to-man. That is fine. Okay, sawa. Before we went on a break, there's something you wanted to highlight.
Yes.
Kindly do.
And this is actually on the sharing. You remember I said I talked about safe space and I talked about brotherhood.
Okay.
And one of the challenges that we have as men is we share when it is too late, when things are really bad. Or we don't share because things are really bad and we are wondering how will people view us.
Yes.
If we can encourage that we start sharing from the onset, when I'm starting to do something, I want to buy a plot.
Yes.
You are my friend, he is my friend, we are talking about Liverpool. By the way, these guys, when they talk about Liverpool and Manchester, it means they know each other.
Yes.
So I don't know what else they share, together.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, when at that level now, when you're talking about that Liverpool and whatever, can I say without bragging, as a friend, that I'm intending, there is this plot in Ruai.
Yes.
Out of that sharing, from your own experience or from the experience of others, you tell me, hey, you need to do due diligence first, pole, before you rush into it. You know, now you are sharing when it is early. So that now, when you're coming to be conned, that's not when you run now to Bulale and telling him, oh, I was conned, I don't have money, my kids don't have money to go to school and whatever. So it's kind of like the first thing is, you should have come to me early enough. You should have asked me, I should have told you.
True.
Now, that's a thing that is happening, including in marriages. This is what is happening. We are suffering, but you don't want to say it.
Yeah.
You have started seeing something that is not working out with your kids or with your wife, but you don't want to share because you don't want to look as a weakling.
Yes.
I would rather look the weakling initially, but I get advice and it comes out strong. Okay. Now, that's the reason why I will not share. Get back now to your initial question of with the preso. Now, if he cries out and to you, it means, number one, he has reached out to a point that he believes in you.
Okay.
And therefore, sharing with you, he's opening out because he wants to get healed. There's a connection that he finds out. He's not crying out to anybody else, but to you. So you should hold him at that, and you should try to safeguard him with that confidentiality, because the environment that he shared with you, now don't go sharing it out. So that tomorrow now you can give him another environment of if there was something else he can come to. Likewise, you have also known him now because he has opened up to you.
Yes.
So you can also now go because
Share.
you can also share with him.
Okay.
Yes.
Chris, there's a lady from Mombasa, Shiko, who said she's unable to have a serious discussion with the husband because every time she brings up a serious issue, the husband gets agitated. What could be going on there?
Insecurity. It's insecurity. The man is not in his element when those issues are brought up. Probably he feels that he's being challenged as a man. Probably he thinks that he's being accused of not being a man enough. He thinks that she probably is diminishing who he is or what he does. And he is not used to that.
But they said they've been married for 13 years.
Yes, it is possible because you see some of those things we grow up with. We grow up with feeling like we have to prove a point. So if anybody will try to remind you or seem to even insinuate that you're not good enough, then you come into a reaction mode because probably that's what you have felt all through. You felt everybody wanted to tell you you're not good enough. So you have all these your insecurities and you're always on guard, watching out for anything that would seem to be pointing out to your inadequacy, to your inabilities. So maybe he doesn't know how to deal with confrontation. He doesn't see the issues being addressed. He thinks it is him that is being looked at as having failed.
Then how can he turn that around, or even how can Shiko, the wife, just turn that around and make things work in that marriage?
You know, at some point, then she has to just bring somebody else. Again, when it comes to things like marriage, a lot of factors come to play. You know, there's culture, there's how people are socialized. Some people think there's a way a woman should not talk to you, or a woman should not challenge you.
Let me just hold you on that part, rather, because we have Gideon from Narok. Gideon, good morning.
Good morning, Boss. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Yeah, I want to say congratulations to your bench.
Thank you very much. I'm sure I'm a patter.
Yes, I've seeing my friend Robava there. I'm also seeing my friend Chris. And this is from the Maras, now, Narok.
Okay.
I wanted just to put two points across.
Please do.
Generally, men are not weak. But we have got that very soft spot on various issues and matters.
Okay.
One of the matters is how we bring up our families, the call that we have on our children, that yes, I need my children to have 1, 2, 3 things.
Yes.
Our families to have 1, 2, 3 things. Actually, that's what makes men weak at some point. That yes, I'm seeing that family and movie is doing very well. I'm seeing that family Kanyoni is doing very well. But how can I actually be on that point? So I get that weak spot of that I don't sleep. You see?
Okay. All right,
and all men have that. And then again, something that actually gives men to be weak at some point is the goals that we have and the target that we put onto ourselves. That 2020, this is what I have. This is what I have on my table. This is my own resolution. I get at week some point, yes, imefika mwezi wa sita bado sija complete what the target that maybe nilijiwekea kama movie.
All right,
I
Gideon.
get to that weak spot on my side.
All right, Gideon, thank you very much. Some quite interesting points there. We also have Joshua from Kirinyaga. Joshua, good morning.
Morning, Movie.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Question or comment?
Well, allow me to say that it is really being a man in today's world.
Yeah.
You realize that today's world cares. If people see a homeless man and a dog on the street, people will actually give the dog some food.
What?
That's how much people don't give a damn about men.
Okay.
And if you look at it, something that was, I think, programmed right from creation. Because if you look at even our very role of procreation, it's such that if men want to make decisions on propagation of life like women, then we will not be having two people existing. We live in a society whereby men come third after women and children.
Yes.
Our own systems have made life so difficult for men such that at times when you are a man and you imagine that you have visions and dreams to achieve, you will be forgiven to believe that the only dreams that you can achieve in Kenya that come true for men are wet dreams, my friend.
Well, Joshua, thank you.
I think that's how life is.
Yes.
You have to man up as a man. If a woman rapes you, people will be asking you how it was. If a woman starts a fight and you beat her, you will be in jail. If she beats you, you are a coward. That's the society we are living in. And finally,
yes,
it is so bad that we as men have actually given further to this. How come men who put up systems don't even ensure that they cater for their fellow men? I see breast cancer months, this and this form. How come we don't even celebrate November when we are not supposed to shave so that we can celebrate and remember the disease that affects men? I think that's where you're coming from, Booby.
Thank you, Joshua. He needs us to celebrate November, and I actually agree on that particular point. Let's see what you're also saying on WhatsApp as well. We do have, okay, my husband is hiding outside Kenya. Why? Okay, he has no income. When he comes, he throws around money, buying everybody everything, makes false promises, and then goes to hide for another 1 year. Okay, quite interesting. He's not even hustling, he's hiding. Limuru is watching. Have a good day, guys. Thank you very much, Limuru. Keep it locked. We also have, hi, my partner rarely shares about financial matters. When in need of loans, he'd ask I come through for him. But if you inquire what it is for, he gets mad. Is it how men are wired? No, we are not wired like that. We are not wired like that, my friend. We have a different way of doing things. We do have one other message. No? Okay. Let us first of all finish on what you were saying before we took the calls. Yeah, you can continue.
Well, I think we did so much that I nearly lost myself right there.
Sorry for that.
But she was talking about, the husband has this issue of getting mad. And you've just seen another WhatsApp message, like when you ask about financial matters, then the man gets mad. It's the element of how I view myself. When I have a low self-esteem, my insecurities, and I think you're challenging me, I will react. That's why for anybody to be a tyrant, they just need a low self-esteem. They'll see threats, imaginary and real, everywhere. Anything that puts them in the position where they have to offer direction, hope, leadership, vision will be fought because they are not strong enough in that area. If I ask a question here that Burale can answer, he doesn't need to get mad, no matter how difficult it is. In fact, he will relish the moment that he has the space to answer something that is very difficult. If he doesn't have an answer and he thinks that I'm putting him on the spotlight, he will get mad because now his ego comes to play. And that is what is happening with these men, that they are being put into spaces where they are not built up for. They don't have the answers, so they get mad. But the woman can play it another way. Like, begin raising the issue from the positive aspects of this man and say, I like how you do 1, 2, 3, but can we do this other one also in a different way? So that in one sentence, she has stroked both his ego and raised her issue. Because you must learn who you are with. This is your husband, you're not getting out. So you understand that he has this low self-esteem, he has these issues, he needs affirmation. So you stroke the ego and then you raise the other issue. I need to say this as well. I think that when we talk about society putting pressure on men, I think men have put pressure on men. We put pressure on ourselves. There was the element of, the crying, the show of weakness.
Yeah, like that gentleman was asking, where should he cry? Is it okay to cry in front of women?
And I remembered when the DP once broke down in church, and the people who will troll him the most will be men. Who also quietly are saying they wish they had the opportunity to just break down. But now they cannot forgive another man for breaking down. The women have no problem. In fact, the women would wish that their men would break down. They always talk about, yes, they always wonder, why is he not talking to me about these issues? Why is he not telling me that he's going through stress? Why is he not, Burale is hosting the men's conference. I'll tell you that most women will ask, why don't men talk to us about their issues? They want the men to open up and to be vulnerable to them. But then we're not vulnerable to them. Then we're not even vulnerable to each other.
All right, I like how you've said about Shiko. Shiko can turn it around and just, say, start from a positive side as she moves over to the other side. Burale, there's, of course, a lot that has been said in terms of how we have been brought up in our families. Do you think that probably, and even in our own family setting, whether it's the wife and the kids, we have been put in a position whereby we are not allowed to be weak at all. Your wife expects you to leave money on the table for breakfast, dinner, and lunch. She expects you to, at the end of the month, to give her money for her hair and other grooming, and she expects you to pay school fees for the child. And by the way, if you do not pay that school fees, and she tells you you need to be a man because I left Chris, for example, for you, or I left, John for you. So, huko nilitoka kulikuwa kuzuri, please usinipatie stress. Do you think that that is part of the problem?
Listen, the most dangerous statement anybody can ever tell a man is be a man.
Especially our wives.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to be extremely careful. Not just wives, but even a sister, don't tell a brother, be a man. It's actually from a point of demeaning somebody. I know, I am a man already, don't tell me to be a man. And there's a way you can, CJ said something, there's a way you can tell a man and get your results, but it's how you say it. You can say the same thing in two different ways, but only one way will get you the desired result. You understand? And yes, I know we have said that when we are young, when a boy child falls, you are not supposed to cry, and also the problem starts from there. Meaning, if there's pain, you just got to roll with the punches. And sometimes the punches are so hard that we say, I've had enough of the punches. Most of the men who commit suicide, it's because it's not a one-time thing that happened last night. It is punching, and I was punched 10 years ago. The punching came, and then some men are just one abuse away in traffic to committing suicide. So another man will say, how can you commit suicide? How does a man commit suicide because of traffic road rage? No, that was just the final straw. Like this gentleman who said something, and I'm sure he's wondering why we haven't picked it. He said, is it okay for a man to cry in front of a lady? But that's not what he wanted. The second part was, is it okay for a man to drink silly? And then he finished by movie, help me. That man needs help because he's drinking. But he hasn't really said it. So it's picking those loud statements in hidden statements, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is where we need to get to. Yes, we know we've been told from the age of 10, don't cry, you're a man. But since we know that is a problem, let's now stop the excuses of blaming the women who have taken power. Women have taken power because they deserve the power, and some because men have abdicated. So because we know where the problem is, let's go back to the trenches and say, okay, fine, guys, let's remove our coats, show each other our scars. And that's what we have in the men's conference. You understand? No, the men's conference, Atemo was one of the speakers as well. And Ezekiel
I saw the poster.
Yes.
I saw the poster.
So the question is, can we just come and say, guys, this is the problem? And the secret to men is don't ask them what the problem is. We are men. We know the problem. Speak about it. A man in the corner will be like, that's me. I will not tell them, but because they're talking about it and they're giving solutions, I'll come out better and change my son, my nephews, and society. So for men, right now we're at a place, we know the problem. So if you know the problem, if you go to a doctor and say you have a headache, he won't give you Actol for your stomach. Since we know, we need to do a self-surgery as men. Hold each other like this and say, you know what? I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with an issue. He's struggling with another issue. My struggle could be something he's not struggling with. I'm paying rent. He's a landlord to 10 properties in upmarket. But that should not make me feel inadequate because there is something I'm thriving in that he's not. So let's hold hands together and say, you know what? Leaving no man behind.
John, there's something you said, but before we get to that, let's just see what WhatsApp is saying. The numbers on your screen, of course, we are looking forward to your messages. And here's the first message I want to read at this particular minute. We have finances weaken men, i.e., if you are a man, then you end up losing your job or you get married to a woman who earns more than you. It will reach a time whereby you feel weak. Huna say kwa hiyo nyumba, you won't be respected as there before. I think marriage should be revisited. Marriage is supposed to be something to enjoy and be happy for. Most of the men are being neglected in these marriages. The purpose for marriage has been forgotten. All right, kind of agree with you there. Someone else is saying, a boy grows up with absolutely, where is that text? Okay, yeah, men are neglected. A boy grows up with absolutely no father mentorship. The fathers prioritize money making at the expense of the family and leave their wives and house helps to mentor their sons. The result is docile sons and overly aggressive daughters. The laws and culture doesn't make it better. Okay, docile and overly aggressive daughters. All right. There's something we said when we started the show, and it started, I think you said about, I'm forgetting, but it's coming to me. But the point is, you also mentioned the fact that men are absent. They are hiding. You said men need to take back their position. We need to take back our power. So how do we do that? How do we stop hiding? How do we come out of hiding and now show ourselves and get back to our positions?
Okay, in my view, and something that I've tried over the years,
Okay.
with the men that I've worked with for the last 8, 9 years, and I like what RB here is saying. You know, coming to a point that you are going to open up. But pick it up from this other way. I know my problem. Every man knows his problem. Yet we are not opening up. Why? Because first, that safe space that I was talking about, I'm wondering who is going to receive it.
Okay.
A few of us are open. And a few of us have done it. Let me tell you how I've done it over the years. I'm vulnerable myself. I've talked about some of my issues that men look at me and it's kind of like, eh?
Like what?
But to me, it makes me heal. Absolutely. But the minute I speak about that, challenges I've gone through, issues in marriage that I've gone through, which is common to what everybody else is going through, it is always said you attract one of your kind. So what I've had is men coming to me and wanting now to open up to me.
Because you have shown them that
Because
it's a
I
safe-
have shown up.
Okay.
So how many of us now, if we want to help out these men, like now Felix, the man that you talked out there, who can be able to reach out to him? It's somebody who feels him. By the time you are going to express yourself, it means you are feeling this somebody, or you are open, and you are ready to have somebody to come and share, and then you work together.
Chris, as we close up the conversation, how can we take back those positions of power that we once held?
You know, if a man is going to be a leader, one thing about a leader is he must be visible. Whether you're giving direction or not, whether you're giving instruction or not, you must be visible. There is that safety. I have 3 biological sons. When I'm away from home, they will always ask, where's daddy? When I'm around home, they mind their own business. All they want is the visibility, the presence. They just want to know that daddy is home.
And he's here.
Then they can mind their business because then they feel secure. I think before we can even get to the place of financial stability and emotional stability, can we just be present?
Okay.
Can we just be visible?
All right.
Can the people around our lives know that he is here?
Okay. Right. Burale, as we head on over to the Men's Conference 2020,
Yes, sir.
how can you take our positions of power?
First and foremost is to stop hiding with your scars. You know, you hide because you're naked, really. So like he said, when he talked, he opened up. He was vulnerable because when somebody else sees your scar, he'll be like, then why am I hiding my scar? So come. So there's nothing as powerful as 1,000 wounded men coming together because they've been brought by their wounds, like the mighty men of David. By the time they were going in, they were discontented, discouraged, and in debt. The same men came out as mighty men. You understand? So let's stop hiding. Don't be embarrassed about your scars. Yes, and by the way, you got to understand, when you show your scars, some very perfect people will try and make fun of your scars.
So be ready for that.
But yes, be ready for that. But if one person can be healed by your vulnerability, it doesn't matter. That one person's success will silence 1,000 perfect people. And that is why I now want to invite everybody for the men's conference.
Please do.
It's not for the perfect people. It is on the 8th of February from 9 a.m. to 12:30 at Nairobi Cinema. If you're a mother, send your son. If you're a wife, the Shiko from Mombasa, please tell her husband needs to come. The gentleman struggling with alcohol, please come.
Yeah.
And let's reclaim, the theme is reclaim our position as we go through healing.
Okay.
Yes.
Reclaim your position as you go through
8th of
healing.
February, 9
How can, there's a guy, Shadrach, who wanted to meet you. How can he get to you, apart from the conference?
You guys can text him my number.
Okay.
No problem.
Sasa, Shadrach, number inakuja. John, how can they get to you?
Through Transform Nations. I am known as Kanyoni of Man Enough.
Yeah.
Again, my number it can be
can
text.
share. Okay.
Can I just say something in a moment?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Please.
The question, what we are addressing today, are men being
Neglected.
No, men are not being neglected. By who? Men are neglecting themselves.
Okay.
We need to rise up, Because we are the one who have empowered the ladies. We say the ladies are empowered. Who have empowered the ladies? It is us.
Okay.
Let us rise up and take up our rightful positions.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Chris, how can they reach you? I'm sure there's someone who's dying to have a conversation.
At CJ Atemo on all social platforms.
At CJ Atemo.
Yes.
All right, there you have it. We've come to the end of that discussion. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We do have Shiku Kaitani here and Jeff. Are you going for the men's conference?
Yes, yes. Actually, before you went on at the beginning of the show, he confided in me, was vulnerable and said, Jeff, if you don't show up, if you don't.
So yes, Murale open to you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes.
It's a wrap, my friends. We've come to the end of the show. Of course, Daily Beef coming up next.
Yes, of course, Shiksha Arora and Samuel Njoroge will be here from 9 up until 12:30. We're back tomorrow. It's a Hangout Friday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we have Kate Sidete from Case 100 definitely going to be cooking with us in the kitchen. You need to stand by for that. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
The King of Genge also stops by. Jua Kale. What two?
Unajua ni aje. And by the way, nimesikia kwa mpigo tena sana amerudi. Alex Wakideo is back in studio, so Milele FM will be featuring tomorrow on Hangout Friday.
Fantastic stuff. Tomorrow, of course, make sure you have some space. It's a big Hangout Friday. Have a great Thursday. We're back tomorrow bright and early. Bye-bye.
Bye.